Hey! Get in there.
Freaks me out.
Whew, this morning was a little chilly. Me and Jen, we got up early and did the milking chores and made sure all was good. And we had a little frost going on. Could see our breath. We hadn't seen that in a few weeks. It was weird. Almost halfway liked it. Isn't that crazy? All we want is warm, hot weather. And then we get like a little snippet of coldness. And even though we might be like, yeah, I don't want that. I want a garden. I want it to be hot. Like something about those cool mornings when there's still just a nice little frost. And then when the heat comes and it pulls that fog up off your property, there's a real beauty to it. But that being said, when you're a gardener, it's awfully scary when you're getting in freezing temps because you don't want your plants to die. So did ours die? Thank goodness, no, they did not. So we had all of our tomatoes and stuff down here and peppers, and we had some more over there, but they're all good. Hallelujah. So we use this itty bitty space heater here. One thing that's really nice about this is it has that little thing. I don't know, it's hard to hold and show, but that little thing sticking up, it's a safety feature. So when we put it down, that shoots it in, and it only turns on when it does that. So if it falls over or does something like that, it'll click off, which is a really nice feature when it's not in your house and you don't get to see it very often. So I stuck it right there on my second shelf. So I put some of the baby ones that we just transplanted underneath here. And then I put the other tomatoes on top. That way when the heat shot out, it warmed the immediate area here, and then it rose to the top to kind of help bottom here. So that kind of helped me cover a little bit bigger area instead of I just put the heater on top. So if you do have a double shelf, make sure you're putting your heater on the lower end because that heat will rise on up and help you out and help you cover more area. Now, when we had our smaller greenhouse, when we only had 4 cattle panels, that little heater would actually heat the entire greenhouse and keep all the areas real warm. Well, where this one's much bigger, that little thing does not heat, say, all the way back where you all are on our show or our table that we actually do stuff on. So you have to be a little bit more precise on where you're doing stuff. In the winter, it was kind of cool. I'd come out and it's like, you ever seen The Day After Tomorrow when like the eye was like freezing everything, but then like that one spot where they had the fire was the only thing not frosted? That's actually kind of how it looked on the greenhouse. So it'd be like frosted on the edges, and then the middle would be clear plastic because that heater did the job. So a few of you all commented about the elderberry cuttings that you saw in Sunday's video. They are doing great, and look at here. This little guy is even having a little bloom going on there. So yeah, really the only reason they're still in containers is because we're trying to figure out exactly where we want to put them. So I know we keep saying that. Jen and I both have like a fear of permanency. We don't like doing it. We like to change things often. Our living room has changed probably 4 times since we moved here, and we've only been here like 7 months. So doing these big permanent cuttings, we just don't want to regret wherever it is that we're putting them. However, we know that we need to make that decision, and we're probably thinking around the fence line. On this side, the inside, of course, will probably be the good spot to be. One good thing is we don't really have much deer because we do have the road that's right there, and our dogs, and we have neighbors, so it kind of keeps everything around our fence line down, so we don't have a huge worry of animals eating all that good stuff, and it kind of keeps it out of the way, but in a pretty like landscape setup. So if I had to guess, that's probably where they'll end up going. And so if you got some of your cuttings, because we know a lot of people buy cuttings from that, I can never remember the name of it, but a lot of y'all bought cuttings because you saw them on ours. So if you're kind of in the same setup, we'll more than likely still wait till closer to the last frost date just to get them out and not have any issues. But really, you could get them out now in the spring and they would be fine. That is a potato starting to break ground. So the potatoes have just been hanging out, relaxing, just waiting on them to bloom. And we're getting there. They're starting to have a couple here and there, but really we probably got another week or two before we'll really start seeing some shots up. And then we'll start the healing process. Y'all see all those dandelions and flowers popping up everywhere, all over the yard? We love it. But probably a different reason than what most people would think. So out here, new area, there's like no plants. Like out in the middle of the open where our garden is, no plants. So that means no pollinators, right? Like if it's just grass, they're gonna go find them some flowers. So I'm gonna act like we made it intentional, but it's mainly because of the rain. But it's an important lesson on why you leave those flowers and those dandelions in the ground. You need those flowers to be there to help draw those pollinators to your property. I know we'll start seeing when summer comes, people are saying, is this a pollination issue? I'm having to hand pollinate because the bees and stuff are not coming around and pollinating my plants. Well, try this out this year. Let the dandelions go for a little while in your yard. I know, hopefully you don't have an HOA or wherever you are. We definitely don't. Where we are, let them grow up a little bit. Let them flower out. Let those bees start getting used to your property until you can get some more plants out to keep them around, because they're gonna move on. They're gonna move on. You cut all them things off, the pollinators are gonna go venture and find someone that hasn't mowed their yard. So, weird trick, but try it. Let them grow a little bit longer this year until it gets a little bit closer to you put plants out, and maybe you have better pollination success. You gonna ride in the back?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I can do.
We got work to do.
I think I got him.
All right, like sit your bottom down so you can not sit on the top there. Ready? Ready? Ready?
What?
You ready?
Yeah.
Hold on.
I can see your grandma picking up on me.
All right, the barn is not looking near as disgusting anymore. 4 bales of fresh straw everywhere, definitely in the nesting boxes. It's crucial for wanting clean eggs that you don't have to wash, is keeping their path to the nesting boxes out of the mud. It's not so much the nesting boxes themselves, it's when they get in there with their muddy feet and they're sitting down, they're walking on them, that's what gets all that mud all over them. So keeping the path dry, keeping the path clean, results in clean eggs. There's your tidbit for the day. Dolly about lost it over here.
Oh, you don't do that.
What's for dinner, good looking?
I don't know. Hey!
Wait, what? All of them?
There's only one in each pack, so.
It ain't mine. He's mine. I can get you good right now. I can get you good right now. I won't, since you get hurt teeth.
I feel like you never get creative anymore, but it's like freaking time.
Right. Well, summertime we barely cook.
Summer.
Well, it's warm out. Oh gosh. Chicken juices. Don't judge us for our dinner, but we become very like one pan easy dinners when it comes summer. spring, warm time.
It's not even summer yet.
Well, it's spring. It's hot out, which means you have more stuff to do throughout a day. So our meals start consisting of like a pan with stuff on it, pop it in the oven, call it a day. Yep. But that's okay. No, for me, specifically at least, sure she would agree. Helps me trim down some of that winter weight.
2 pans today.
Oh, 2 pans. All the veggies. Ready to go in?
Yeah.
So dinner today is brought to you by some Brussels sprouts and like a medley. What else we got over there?
Chicken.
Chicken.
Butcher box chicken.
Yeah, it is butcher box chicken.
Not ours, but butcher box.
Hey!
Okay, that was a bad idea before we got the food and water. They're hungry. But we haven't showed the turkeys in a while. And here they are. They're growing quite fast. They're huge. And we love them. They're so friendly. Yeah. So that's one batch of them. Here's the second batch. We had to put them in 2 different brooders because they got so big so quick. But they're doing really good, and they're about to go
Here's one
outside.
of the turkeys.
Turkey.
Turkey. Alright. Alright.
Turks.
Get out the food.
And we have added to our Easter decor. My Aunt Patty made me that cute little bunny banner.
I am Patty too.
Yes, your Aunt Patty too. Raylan wants to show you what she made today in school. What is it, Ray Ray? Do you remember?
Baby Moses.
Baby Moses, that's right. And he's behind the, I forgot what you call it, but he's behind the bushes and it's really cute. It folds down. Show him Baby Moses back there. Yeah, there he is.
How's the tooth, babe?
It hurts,
It hurts.
unfortunately. But it's fine. I think it's just sore. And it's not my tooth and it's not in the hole. It's just my jaw over here. And I think it's just where they had to pull so hard. I don't know, it's just sore.
That and on top of the shots maybe too.
But I did call the dentist today and they said today should be like the peak and we should begin to go down. So hopefully that happens tomorrow.
And it sounded like everything that you're going through is normal.
Yes.
Like not that you have a dry socket
Right.
or anything like
I
that.
don't have, fever. I don't have any signs of infection. It's just sore.
So that's good news. And so I'm not keeping her in like a dungeon or anything. Y'all heard it from her. She's fine. But yeah, so I mean, if you're going to get a follow-up with the regular dentist though, right? So that's good. She called them and they were much more friendly.
Yeah.
And kind of told her basically what you all told her to do. But it really just reassured her that everything was fine. Because she was starting to get a little nervous. I mean, unfortunately, some of y'all talked about how people have passed through this. And so that's kind of scary. First off, we're so sorry to hear that. But it kind of gives you in your subconscious, like super nervous over anything that you feel.
Yeah.
And so that was really nice.
It's definitely been frustrating though, because I really thought that I would come home that day
Right.
and feel better. And I did not. I mean, it was good to have it out, but I was tired. I was still in pain. Like I couldn't eat, I really thought like once it's gone, life will just go back to normal. No, even the next day, it's been a real challenge to still like feel it, but not want to. I was just hoping that it would happen and be over. That's not the case.
On the downhill though, almost to the bottom.
Yes. I guess what I'm saying is I didn't want to have recovery time. I really thought it would just get better and everything would go back to normal. But that was not the case. So I don't like being down. I don't like having to recover from stuff. I don't like not being able to function like normal. I want to do what I want to do. And I don't want to have to feel, it's frustrating when you want to do something but you feel like you can't, kind of thing. So yeah, I think that's been the hardest part, honestly, not the pain.
Can we talk about your recovery time though? You had your biggest tooth possible pulled out of your mouth, and like in 3 days. Well, really, the next day you were up doing things.
Yeah,
it's pretty impressive, even though it was a tooth. But I mean, she's a trooper over here.
Yeah, I don't know. Neither one of us really have the option of recovery time.
Right.
Even though we only have 2 kids, thank goodness we don't have like 8, and one of us goes down, and then the other has to take over all the kids and the farm. But even 2, I mean, there's still homeschool, there's hygiene, food, all the things, plus all the
Yourselves.
animals, that you have to do. So yeah, I guess that's just part of having a farm and children. I guess if it was just kids, it'd be easier, probably.
Maybe.
Have something real nice.
Yeah, so it's hard for anyone to go through a recovery. It's hard for any spouse and family to do that, no matter what your circumstances are. Just a little bit more difficult when it comes to homesteading and farming. So if it is something that you're like kind of on the verge on, you don't know what to expect kind of thing, this is something to expect. There's going to be a time that someone's sick or recovering, and there's going to be times that both of y'all are down. And that's even harder.
That would be terrible.
We've been there. It always seemed like we haven't been sick in a long time. Knock on wood, fingers crossed, all those good things. But when we were, it was difficult.
Mm-hmm.
So just keep that in the back of your mind. Prepare for it. Figure out some kind of backup plan. Just kind of like a fire drill, right? Like know what you're going to do when the unforeseen happens,
right,
kind of thing. But we did have something pretty exciting happen today that I really just thought of. Didn't even talk to her about that. We was going to shoot about it. We had our appraisal done on the White House that we're in the process of buying. I feel like we really have not talked about that enough, but we are buying another house.
Yeah, it's a lot.
It is. So that gets us one step closer to owning the White House. We'll see how the appraisal comes back. We all know that the house isn't in perfect condition. So we'll see if the appraisal matches what the asking price was, and we'll go from there. But we're one step closer to getting that done, and it's a really big deal.
We'll own 2 houses.
2 houses, 2 mortgages,
Yeah.
2 electric bills, 2 of everything. So definitely stay tuned for that. It's going to be exciting times ahead of us. Got the not turkeys, chickens coming the rest of this week.
Mm-hmm.
And it's going to be wild and crazy. But you know what? Just stick with us. We'll give you the brutal honesty and make sure that you see everything that comes across us. But other than that, I think that's it for today.
Yeah, there's nothing you don't see, that's for sure.
Best believe it. And we love it that way. We love sharing with you all. We think that it's important to do so, to see the good, the bad, and the ugly, and make sure that you know what you're getting into. Because if we're trying to promote it, we want you to not come back and like, you didn't tell us this.
Right.
We want to make sure you know everything that comes with doing this lifestyle.
That's right. We love y'all.
Until the next one.
Bye.
Bye.